Welcome to iMindMap 5's Smart Layout video tutorial. iMindMap 5.3 brings with it a new generation of Smart Layout which works intuitively, giving you choice and flexibility for ultimate control over the way your map looks. So, what is Smart Layout? It is ultra-smart technology that works in the background whilst you are working and naturally lays out your mind map for you. It uses auto-layout technology, so when you add branches, other branches, objects and images in your workspace move out of the way and create space for your new ideas. This helps prevent collisions and any overlapping. If you are someone that will be using speed mind mapping, that is fast mind mapping using just your keyboard, Smart Layout is also used to ensure your mind map is laid out neatly and quickly. See our separate video tutorial on speed mind mapping if you want to learn a little bit more about this. So, Smart Layout, in essence, is an essential time-saving tool that will make your mind mapping experience easy. Let's take a look. Let's now draw a branch on my mind map using my mouse in between two branches where there's very little space. So if I add my branch, you should see the delivery branch slightly moves out of position. Let's draw a branch between these two branches here, so there's a very small space for my branch to fit. As I drag my branch out, you should see the strategic thinking and the project management branch gently moved out of the way to accommodate my new branch. Let's try that again. I'm going to try and draw another branch again within the small gap between these two branches. When I release my mouse, you should see that the two branches either side of that move out of way. New branch 2. This will prevent any overlapping or collisions with your branches. Again, if I move a branch so that it's overlapping with any other branches and release my mouse, Smart Layout will move the branches either side of it out of the way to accommodate the new branch and creating some more space for it. Now, Smart Layout is defaulted on when you turn on iMindMap. You can turn this off as well as adjusting the number of Smart Layout settings by going to the Format tab, and you will see the Smart Layout settings underneath the Layout box. If you are a Mac user, this can be found under the Format menu. By clicking the Smart Layout settings icon, the Smart Layout settings box will appear. Not only can you turn Smart Layout on and off using the toggle buttons at the top, you've also got a number of options here to customize your Smart Layout settings. First of all, you can set the branch style. You can set your branches to a curved organic branch shape, or alternatively slide the slider up the scale to a more linear, straight looking branch. When you draw branches using your mouse or your keyboard, the branches will adopt this style. Secondly, you have the spacing setting. This allows you to control how much space you have between your branches. Slide the slider to the left to decrease the amount of space between your branches, or slide it to the right to increase the space between your branches. This is a number of specific uses, so if your mind map gets very large and you've got lots of branches on there, you might want to reduce the space between your branches so that your mind map doesn't sprawl too much across your workspace. Or, if you are using your mind map for a presentation or for children, you may want to increase the spacing so that the branches are more clear and visible to your audience. Finally, you have the Auto Condense feature. Now, this is brand new for 5.3. This will decide when Smart Layout condenses your branches to minimise the white space within your mind map. As default, the Auto Condense feature is set to be condensed only when branches are collapsed or deleted. To explain, if you delete a branch or collapse a branch using the expand and collapse feature, your mind map will automatically condense so that the surrounding branches move to fill the space that's been left, condensing your mind map. This will ensure that there's no white redundant space when doing either of these actions. So let's have a look at that. If I was to click on the collapse button here, you should see that the space gets collapsed so that there's no white space. If I expand that, the branches move out of the way to accommodate the branches. Let's try that again. So this time I'm going to delete a branch, so I'm going to delete delivering using my delete key on the keyboard. And you will see that Smart Layout reduces the white space and moves the branches together so there's not a big white redundant space in around this area of my mind map. Let's go back to Smart Layout settings and we can look at the other options. So you can also control auto condense in two other ways. You can turn this off so that when you move, add, delete any branches that the white space stays exactly as it is. So if I click OK here, if I collapse my creating branch here, you will see that my branches did not move. Again, if I was to delete the creating branch using my delete key, the white space remains and there's a gap in my mind map. So in essence, Smart Layout isn't working in these instances. It's turning auto condense off. To go back to Smart Layout settings, I'm now going to slide the slider right to the other end, and here you can see that it's going to condense on each change of my mind map. So whenever I move, I add, I change or delete a branch, auto condense will kick in to ensure that there's never any redundant white space on my mind map. So let's have a quick look at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now cut a branch from my mind map. I'm going to go to home here, cut, and you will see that again the white space was reduced and the branches moved into the position there so that there's no gap. I'm now going to go to presentations and I'm going to paste my branch, and it's been added in there, and you would have seen that the branches move to accommodate that. If I was to simply move my branch using the blue target, so I try to fit it into this space here, you should see that the Smart Layout moves that out of the way. If I delete that branch using the delete key, again you should see that auto condense kicks in and reduces the white space between the branches. It in essence condenses my mind map for me. Now we've also introduced a clever new feature called Cleanup. So I'm going to go back to my Format tab. Again, if I'm on a Mac, this will be the Format menu, and you will see next to Smart Layout Settings, Cleanup. Now this is a brilliant new feature. I use it all the time, especially if I've got a very large mind map. So I'm going to just open another mind map I've got here to show you. So this is a substantial mind map with lots of branches. You can see the structure and the layout of the map's not ideal. There's quite a lot of white space. So I've added ideas very quickly down. I wanted to get all my thoughts down, but my mind map's not the tidiest it could be. So I'm going to use the cleanup feature, which is a very big time saver and will allow me to tidy this mind map up in an instant. So I'm going to click on Cleanup, and what you should see once I click this button is a lot of this white space is going to be removed. Any branches that are flicking the wrong way will be aligned, and hopefully the map will be fitting in a lot smaller space so it's easier to read and see, print and share with other people. So by clicking the Cleanup button, you should see that a lot of the white space has been removed, the branches are all aligned, and it looks a much neater mind map. Remember, Smart Layout is also constantly used when you're speed mind mapping. Speed mind mapping allows you to create mind maps using only your keyboard instead of your mouse, so this is a very quick and easy way of building up your mind map. Smart Layout means that when you're creating branches using your keyboard shortcuts, these branches don't overlap or collide. See our separate video tutorial on speed mind mapping if you would like to learn more about this. That's just about it for SmartLayout. In essence, it's a tool that will work really hard for you in the background. Hopefully with such ease you don't even notice it working. It will save you lots of time and can be only found within iMindMap 5. So if you want your mind map to be laid out without any collisions or overlapping, make sure SmartLayout is enabled.